Alright, welcome to a new series I'm going to be doing on the channel where I'm going to be ranking YouTube boxers on a scale of 1 to 10. And today I'm going to be starting off with one of the biggest names in the scene, Slim.
He's done it from time to time, just haven't been...
From the United Kingdom, the Nightmare.
Alright, so as of today, Slim holds a pretty impressive record of 6-0. He has established himself as one of the best guys in this whole entire scene. But is he really as good as his record shows, or has he somehow become a little bit overrated? Well, if you can remember back to the old YouTube boxing days of 2019, Slim had his first boxing match against the best boxer of all time, Fousey. And this fight was pretty ugly. Fousey became Slim's personal punching bag pretty quickly, and the fight was just completely one-sided. In all fairness, Fousey showed that he had heart, but he was just not it technically. Very little technique, very little head movement, and Slim did what he had to do to get that stoppage. At this point, Slim had shown that he was focused on learning the fundamentals of the sport and was able to display it in an actual fight. His next fight was against NNA Productions, who is kind of just a big joke in the entire YouTube boxing scene these days. Bro is pretty terrible, I'm not gonna lie. And Slim came in, did what he had to do, and won the fight in just 44 seconds with the TKO. So quickly moving on from that, let's get into his third fight, which in all honesty, I do not really know too much about. But I do remember the viral video of his big knockout for this fight, when he landed a huge right hand in the third round to end the fight. Big knockout there. That's one of the first times I really was impressed with Slim. I just remember seeing that clip, and at that time there were not too many knockouts that had looked like that in this whole space. But it was after that fight that things really started to change for Slim. Despite being 3-0 at this point, Slim was constantly getting disrespect from the fans or other fighters in the space, and he wasn't on any big cards at this point, and he hadn't really had any big names to go against. So I remember back then seeing a lot of people just giving him zero respect. They were clowning him and really just saying he wasn't that good, despite the whole 3-0 record. But then he stepped in to fight FaZe Temper on just 2 weeks notice. And I remember Slim being a huge underdog in this fight, with so many people predicting FaZe Temper to beat him, myself included. I thought FaZe Temper was going to win that fight. After seeing his whole performance against King Kenny, people were really thinking FaZe Temper was next up in this scene, and we're even building a fight between him and KSI at this point. If he would have beat Slim, that really was the fight that was supposed to happen. But Slim did not care about those plans for those future fights. He went in there and decided to take advantage of this huge opportunity for him, and he definitely made sure to capitalize off the whole situation. Slim absolutely dominated this fight, and he ended up knocking out FaZe Temper in just the second round. And I still think this is one of the biggest upsets we have seen on Misfits to this day, and one of the most memorable fights for sure. Because this fight automatically made Slim a huge star in the scene and got him the respect that he had been wanting and deserved after all this time. This really showed me and everyone else that he was a serious contender and could really go up against almost anybody in the scene. And what does he do after this fight? Does he take a bunch of time off just celebrating the victory? No, he gets right back into the ring, going against Ryan Taylor, a guy who is very tough and weighed a lot more than Slim does. And this fight just further showed the skill of Slim from a technical aspect. This fight was not close. He didn't finish the fight, but it was a lot bigger of a guy, but he was not really taking damage himself and just completely outclassed him here, further showing just how good Slim is. After this, Slim got back into the ring again in December against Tom Zanetti, a guy that a lot of people were sleeping on, once again, including myself. I just wasn't very aware of Tom Zanetti, and this fight did prove to be difficult for Slim. Slim did win the fight, but it was against a tough guy, and I think that's going to be proven even more after we see how Zanetti does on the Kingpin tournament. I think he's going to surprise some people there, and I think after the tournament it's going to make Slim's win look a little more credible, because Slim did take some big shots, and I do think he won, but it was a pretty close fight at the end of the day. Zanetti landed some big bombs, but of course Slim did as well, and it was the second fight in a row of Slim fighting someone who was a good amount heavier than him. But I do think this fight was good for Slim to take a step back, go back to the drawing board, and go back to training, taking a little bit of a break. I think it was a great learning experience for him moving forward to avoid those kind of fights in the future, because he kind of abandoned his game plan in that fight in order to have just a full-out slugfest with Zanetti, who definitely wants that kind of fight. So Slim kind of fell into his trap a bit there, still got the win at the end of the day. Definitely a learning experience for Slim, and hey, he's still undefeated, and I'm excited to see where he goes from here. So if you look at it, Slim is one of the only undefeated influencers left in the scene, and he has some of the most fights out of the entire scene as well. 6-0, that's more than almost anybody else, and he has yet to take a loss, and it's not like he's taking easy fights. Temper is a difficult fight. I don't care what people say. Temper is a good fighter. Just because he lost to Slim in KSI does not mean he's a bad fighter at all. I think he would beat a majority of the people in the space. So that was a great win coming off of 2 weeks notice. I think the Zanetti win is a great win for him. Ryan Taylor is a tough guy. I think Zanetti is a tougher fight, but Ryan Taylor, it's not like it was Swarms versus KSI or anything, right? It wasn't that easy of an opponent. And I think his next fight, he's just gonna up the levels even more. So I really don't think there's too many guys above Slim in all of YouTube boxing. Slim deserves all the success that has come to him. He has shown us knockout power before multiple times. His technique can improve, and I think it will after that Zanetti fight. I think his game planning will improve, and I have seen a decent amount of people saying that he's going to be exposed soon once he fights a top contender. But until that happens, he's one of the best in my eyes, and that's why I'm going to give Slim a rating of 8.5 out of 10. What do you guys think? Do you agree with that score? Do you think he should be higher? Do you think he should be lower? Subscribe for more boxing content and updates if you feel like it. That'd be pretty cool. Thank you for watching. Peace.